Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We are playing in the hardcore Breach League as a solo self-found Beacon of Corruption Necromancer, and we turn minions, and specifically Spectres, into caustic clouds. I have been running maps since the last episode. Last episode we defeated Grotto. That was a couple of days ago, and tonight's schedule was to record the Labyrinth. But in order to do the Labyrinth, I figured let's do a little bit of a warm-up. So I've been running some maps, nothing truly eventful happened, but we have now completed all tier 2 maps and even the channel tier 3. And at some point I figured maybe we should give our Spectres a little bit more oomph. So I figured, no, let's see if we can 5-link our body armor and then add some extra damage to our Spectres link. 39 fuses later we have a 6-link. This is the luckiest fuse ever. Same armor as before, just 39 fuses later and we got a 6-link. So normally you would spend hundreds of fuses. So that's why I was hoping for a 5-link. Got a 6-link, I'm not complaining. So that means this armor is probably gonna last a little longer than I was expecting it to last. Because of course I was hoping to get a Val Regalia. The thing is, Val Regalias, they start dropping item level 69. So that's tier 2 maps and beyond. And ideally you want it to be item level 72 or 73 to get a chance at getting some higher tier life and energy shield rolls. So in order to do that I need to get into tier 3, tier 4 maps. I figured, once we get a Val Regalia, get it 6-linked, get it providing us with a lot of energy shields, then we are in an even better position to run the Labyrinth. So I was thinking that, but now we're kind of stuck with what we got, I think, because this is a very good armor suddenly because it is 6-linked. So we are now using Wither, which casts while channeling, summon Raging Spirits, raise a Spectre, minion damage support, and I was planning on using minion life, but instead we're gonna go with increased area of effect. We got a concentrate effect over here. The reason I'm gonna go with this is that minion life, 47% increased maximum life. If we have a look on the modifiers for, let's say, our Spectres here, life is already increased by 120%. So currently we are running our minions at 220% of their base life. Normally it's 100%, now it's 220%. So if we were to add 47 or just round it up to 50% increased life, we're gonna go from 220 to 270. That's an increase of roughly 20% more life and therefore more damage if in the bigger scheme of things, while this is more 55% more area damage. So caustic clouds get way more powerful from concentrated effect rather than from increased life. Alternatively, now we could add the increased minion life to it. Currently don't have a high level available for it. I figured increased area of effect, getting a Wither this large, pretty cool. And if you get some corpses out, then you'll see these caustic clouds, they fill like a quarter of the screen. So in breaches and things like that, we're gonna need a lot less corpses in order to paint the entire screen green. So that's why for now we're experimenting a little bit with increased area of effect. For bosses we can switch to concentrated effect to give ourselves even more damage, though in the end on weapon switch I'm leveling another minion alive, so you might pick that one up and use it as our default if the increased area of effect is not a strict requirement. But our main link is now a lot more powerful, so I figured let's test it on a tier 3 map, and we're gonna run the Grotto. Monsters reflect elemental damage and players have less AoE, so the increase of our Wither is getting diminished a little bit. I think we're still in a pretty good shape. I've completely topped up on prophecies again. There's a chance a twin prophecy is gonna spawn. So let's see what we're gonna get.
Trapped in absolute darkness, despair, panic, terror.
Not twins. So for the grotto, the boss is going to be the Chaos Crystal Golem that's also in the quarry. So if we only get one instead of two, that's a bonus. I figured no, the gear upgrade was worth it to just add a map running episode in between trying to wrap up the base game's content. And I figured with a 6 link we should have a better chance at defeating Zaro than with a 4 link. So there is that. In order to make room for the 6 link I had to shuffle some things around. The double cast when a damage taken setup is gone. We only have a single cast when damage taken setup now. And it is a 4 link with a vulnerability, immortal call, and spirit offering, of course. Duh. So the Tempest shield is gone. Oh,
a trap is set.
Who knows?
A lure is placed.
Trap is set.
But stronger foes lie in wait.
Well, trap might be set, but still doesn't help him. So the Tempest shield is now gone. That's well, okay, we are gonna miss the extra blocking, but it was just a filler because we had the space, not because we strictly required it. But this way everything else is still the same. What's happened there? I thought I saw something yellow, but I guess that was just my imagination. Something is chewing through our zombies. Though admittedly, that's not a weird thing. Zombies are there to be chewed through. Okay. So you might notice the latency spiking every little bit. It's only up to 100. Something to keep an eye out for though. I suspect that tonight might not be the night where I'm gonna attempt the labyrinth if the latency keeps non-flatlining like this. Because doing the labyrinth with all the crazy traps and the Zaro fight, you don't want weird spikes there. I think this run is going to be my final one for the evening. Ooh, Rain Tempter. We got a strand map. Well, if you get multiple of those. So this map should be mostly circular with just a couple of dead ends. Figure this is the way forward, so that means this is going to be a small pocket that we can clear. Yeah. So opening up, just channeling Wither, getting some raging spirits going. And then dealing with some corpses. Works okay, but against tougher mobs like these bears, I probably should put down some corpses first. So it takes a while for the bears to drop. Like so. Then we channel against the Ash Prophet because that is going to be our primary foe here, competing with us for our corpses. Okay. Definitely trying to play with the most defensive gameplay style in mind here, because latency, it's not a good thing. So I've been running maps for a good hour and a half now, I think. Latency was not an issue. You start recording something for YouTube and of course latency becomes an issue. But again, it's after 8 in the evening. But really, it's weekend, so you wouldn't expect it to be that strong of an influence, but apparently even in the weekend it matters whether it's evening or not. Hey, we gained a level. Last time we completed Purity of Flesh, talked a bit about our options. Now we could go for the mana and life nodes over here. Mana is not much of an issue anymore. Could go for the life and jewel socket over there. But I think in the aspect of just getting my pool as large as possible, we're gonna go for Written in Blood first and probably pick up Growth and Decay afterwards. So travel nodes for now, and then we pick up Written in Blood. Okay, an essence, a triple essence. That's interesting. Tier 5 Greed, Tier 5 Woe, Tier 5 Dread. This is gonna get interesting. So corpses. Let's manually cast our skeletons. I chucked out the totem and replaced it with minion life. That way, Vile Summoned Skeletons is no longer able to get interrupted from its totem. And let's see. So refresh a little bit more. Oh, that actually gets us some sparkly corpses. You can get 15 corpses down from Desecrate, so we have done that. Port out and then do it like that. Oh no, you have a Guardian Golem. And then you're dead. Being prepared, half the work. So Dread was armor. Whoa, is energy shields. That is potentially interesting. So these are low-ish rolls. They could be useful. And Greed is of course alive with very good rolls. So happy with that. Okay, this is probably going to be a pocket. Yep. Put forward. How many mobs? 50 plus. Okay, then we're not going to run into the boss anytime. Oh, no, actually that's not it. The boss is on the roughly on the opposite side of where we started. So we should encounter the boss halfway through, not at the end. Is it? We'll see. Observations are not entirely lining up with how I thought this map worked. And we can fiddle things around a little bit to fit in this one. And we're gonna dump items. Oh. I have to get into the habit to keep this one in here. Like that. So I have changed my system for running maps slightly. This is probably a dead end loop. Oh, it continues. Okay, then the previous bit is dead end. How I thought about things when I started was to run all maps white first, then blue, then yellow, and then corrupted up to the gradations where I needed to or wanted to. But running most of the tier 1 and tier 2 maps as white, I have to say I got rather bored of doing the white ones and then doing a blue one after it again. So I just start with the blue ones and I just pick blue ones that are not super crazy. So, like now, Elemental Reflect is okay because it's basically just a free modifier. Less area of effect, that's okay as well because it doesn't affect the minions. It only affects my Wither. Oh, seriously? This is... Oh, it was just branching. Okay. There was some stuff spawning behind us. Also, bears. Just look at things melt. Putting in some minions, and then we'll just explode stuff. Works rather well. Get some corpses out and explode you as well. So yeah, I think half of the tier 2 maps I ran as white first and the other half I ran as blue first. So far, so good. So that's why this Grotto layout is slightly unfamiliar. I did consult the wiki on which one it was again. But what I remember from when I read it a while ago is that we would get the Chaos Golem thing. Similar to the quarry, but out in the open. At the end of a tunnel. And that the map would be roughly circular. I'm failing to see the circular bit of the map. Increased area of effect is leveling like mad, which is good. Upside of having an increased area of effect is that Wither hits a lot of minions or enemies. Just stop calling them minions. So I should raise some new zombies. They have been getting punished rather hard. Dual strongbox. Stream of monsters. Well, we need a second modifier. +5 chest level. That makes things interesting. Level 75 chest. Which means it does get access to some higher tiers. Of enchantments. Or prefixes and suffixes. So I'll actually just pick up the white ones. Also, no, so these are just regular stuff. It's the amulets and things that are item level 75. Okay, so far so good. Still more than 50 mobs remaining. Of course, the raging spirits also benefit from the increased monster damage node as well. The increased area of effect. Their cluster clouds might not be as impressive as those of specters or zombies, but they do matter. And against smaller foes. Okay, this crystal here is a marker that we are very close to the boss. Also, we're running low on monsters left in the map. So this is basically just a very long map rather than a circular map. Ah, got some extra corpses. So, Camelambalism, they consume corpses. And there we have it. The Void Anomaly, who does Chaos Storm damage. I got some corpses there with channel. Let's unleash the army of the damned. Get some more corpses out. And just degen him to bits. Oh, I should have actually switched to concentrated effect, but we were doing pretty fine here as we were. So I'd say for a first test, this was not quite bad. And we did a full clear of the map. and another chest. So, that was the final map run I intended to do before the labyrinth, but given that latency is not entirely stable, I think I'll postpone running a labyrinth till tomorrow. So I'll probably do some map runs again before that as I warm up. If there's something interesting in there, then there's going to be an extra video with running a map, and otherwise it's going to be the labyrinth. And we're finally gonna take on Zaro and finally gonna see if we can boost the power of our Spectres through the roof, as I always intended to, but just took a while to achieve. So for now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.